I thought I'd talk about my involvement with Blue microphones. And I think I saw Blue microphones for the first time at an AES show, and this was in the late 90s. And I got in touch with Skipper Weiss. I talked to him, and he was the one owner of the company. And I told him that we were interested in becoming a dealer for his microphone line. And this is when I just started working at Angel Mountain. And he told me that they had a exclusive deal with Sweetwater. No, I'm sorry, not Sweetwater, Guitar Center. And they had to honor that, and they weren't opening up other dealers. And I said, okay, that's fine. But if it ever changes, let me know. And he said, okay. But he went through the line, and he was really a nice person to talk to. And then I got a call from him, and he said, well, we decided that we're going to open up the line to have other dealers, and you're the first call we're making. And if you want to be a dealer, you have to buy the whole line. And I said, that's not a problem. So this is when Blue was making really, high quality microphones. So we bought the Blue Bottle, we bought the Blueberry, bought the Mouse, the Cactus, the Firefly, and the Kiwi. Those were the microphones that we bought. And, for the most part, the quality, the construction is really nice. But once we got them and we started listening to them, there was all kind of bizarre stuff going on. Like the Bottle, which was the really expensive unit and had the interchangeable elements, it just didn't sound right to us. We kept on listening to it and go, something seems off. It just doesn't sound right. So we sent it back to Blue, and the repair department got it, and they called us and they said, okay, yeah, we can fix this. And I said, all right, great. Just, bring it to the specs it's supposed to be. Now, keep in mind, this was a brand new Blue Bottle microphone we bought. And I think at that point they were 6,000 or 5,000 something. They weren't cheap, maybe more. But the thing that caught me off guard is the repair guy says, well, what do you want it to sound like? I go, what do you mean? What do I want it to sound like? He said, well, I'm not supposed to do this, but I'll make this microphone sound any way you want it to sound. I go, well, isn't there a standard for all the Blue Bottle microphones that they're supposed to all sound the same? He says, well, between me and you, and now that the company is defunct, I get to say this, we'll do anything to, make it sound the way you want it to sound. I said, well, that's not going to work for me if I'm a dealer and, I sell it to one client and then the next one sounds completely different than the one that I have. And he says, oh, I understand. He said, well, then I'll make it what it's supposed to sound like. And I was like, that's what I was assuming would happen. So that was with the Blue Bottle microphone. And then the other microphone I was having problems with, the Cactus microphone. And, they have this Art Deco kind of look to them. They're really interesting looking. But the Cactus microphone, I took it in the studio, we plugged it in, and it was picking up like every radio station in the area. And we thought, well, maybe it was a cabling problem, and our cabling was fine. And then, I think that was the tube microphone, and it had a cable. I'm not sure. Maybe it didn't. But the thing is, no matter where I took it, it picked up radio frequencies. I took it to, I thought, well, maybe it's just, where the studio is, we're picking up, and this is sensitive to this place. So I took it to a studio down in Philadelphia, and we had the same problem. And I just left it with him. I said, try it out on some other things. Maybe it'll, because every microphone with different vocalists could sound completely different. And I remember it was, I think, James Poisner's studio. And I left the microphone there, and I think he had, I don't know if it was Erica Badu or, because he was working with her, or another artist, a female artist. She saw the microphone and fell in love with it, just visually. And they used it, and they liked it, and I got to sell that one. And yeah, so we got that one gone. The Firefly was a nice microphone. It was in the $800 range, and actually we sold a good amount of them. And the little Mouse microphone wasn't that bad. The Blueberry was okay. And then we had the Kiwi. But it was kind of like we got the line, took it out. We weren't super impressed with it. The quality It's beautiful. The design is beautiful, but there's a lot better microphones out there that you could buy, and it just seemed like it wasn't a great investment on our part. I think in the end we kept the blue bottle, and all the other ones we got rid of, and we really never really ordered much after that. But it had kind of exploded. Everybody became a dealer. Everybody had access to the line, and from what I understand, the company got sold a couple times, and in the end, it got sold to Logitech, and they decided they were just going to make USB microphones, and all the high end stuff, stopped being made. So it's kind of an interesting line. I thought I'd tell the history behind Blue that I have personally with. Skipper Weiss was always very nice to us. It just, the beautiful looking microphones, but I don't know if it was the quality that you would think for that price point. So there you go. If you look on eBay now, you see a bunch of them being blown out. But the models are still, a bit pricey. The thing that's a little scary is, well, the company's non-existent, so where do you get them repaired? And that can be a big problem. So there you go.